Hello, hello, and welcome in, man. It's been a while. It's been, I want to say, a couple of weeks since I've been here. Just for those of you who follow me only on YouTube, I do readings outside of YouTube. I offer offline readings for the same price over on Instagram, and I am doing offline readings multiple times a week. So if you don't see me here and you want an opportunity to get a reading from me, definitely follow me on Instagram. I do giveaways. I recently did a aura reading giveaway that someone won, and I'm getting that to them this week. And I'll sometimes do free yes nos over there. So if you're not seeing me and you're missing me, I would definitely say follow me on Instagram. The more that my business evolves, the more that I'm pulling away from YouTube and doing more private readings. It's not to say I'm not going to be here, because I love you guys and I wouldn't have my business if it wasn't for the following I have over here. However, the way that life is evolving, life is changing for me. I am going to have to move to not be like on live as much and move more to private. So that's what I would recommend. You're still going to see me here. And things can change the drop of the hat. You might see me here doing pick a card readings, not really sure where life is going to take me. I will still be here. But just if you ever see lags in me being live and you're like, where is she? What's going on? Definitely check over on Instagram, especially if you want a chance at giveaways and free readings and all of that stuff. Those are like extra perks of following me over there. So just wanted to throw that out there. I've been away on multiple vacations. It started with the beach trip, and then I came back for a couple weeks, then went to Texas, then was back for a week, then went to my brother's coffee shop opening in Connecticut, and now it's Thanksgiving and my nephew's birthday and one of my good friends' daughter's birthday, and then we've got the holidays. Like, life is just going to be really crazy for me through the end of the year. So I appreciate you guys' patience and being here and supporting me when you do get to see me. But I want to let you know things are going to be a little wonky. I still am having weekends off. That has not changed. Saturdays and Sundays, I don't work anywhere. But Monday through Friday, again, if you're not seeing me here, you might see me over on Instagram. I did Globetrotting. It's funny because I only planned for a beach trip. However, my aunt called me out to Texas to do her hair and makeup for her wedding. I was already going to her wedding, so she flew me out early. And then my brother's Connecticut trip, he opened a coffee shop up there in New Haven, and we were there to help celebrate that. And we're just really proud of him. So a lot of the stuff I didn't even plan. It was more like an invitation that I couldn't pass up. So it's been crazy, but it's been a lot of fun. I've actually been to some new cities that I've never been before, and have some great memories. So super happy about that. But that kind of explains the lull in my life and like why you guys haven't seen me as much, because it's been kind of crazy. So let's see. Aesthetic Delta, welcome in. Sweeter, I have your question. Anna, Bria, I have your question. Ari, hello and welcome in. Margaret, I have your question. Aesthetic, Rocky, I see that I've gotten some donations. Was it Shayna J and Rocky, I think? Theana, welcome in. Amy, I have your question. Ari, I have your question. Gabriella, I have your question. Shayna J, I did get your donation. Thank you. You work at Chipotle? I missed you guys. I've been thinking about wanting to go live for so long, but it's just been hectic for me. Just know that if I'm not here, I really just can't be here because I just have too much going on. And I'm sure my life is just gonna get more exciting and more busy as time goes on. Yes, congratulations on your job, Ari. Rocky, donation sent. Yeah, Rocky, I got your donation. Pisces chick, I have your question. Shayna J, I have your question for your donation. And yes, I did have, oh, Ari doesn't have the job anymore. Never mind. I'm late. I did have a lot of fun. Thank you guys. Amy, live stream tomorrow or not? We're hosting Thanksgiving this week, so I've got a lot to do in preparation for that. So if I were to put money on it, I would say offline, but I would love for it to be live stream, and I will definitely do that if the opportunity arises. Precious, I have your question. Phoenix, I did get your donation. Let's see. And I have your question in your donation. So Phoenix, we're good. Thank you guys. Rocky, yes, leave your question with me, friend. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get these yes/no questions answered real quick. You guys have been waiting long enough. All right, sweeter. Sweeter. Is Rashawn good mine? Rashawn's in mine. Mine to sweeter. Sweeter, I am getting a yes. I have the world. So maybe trying to bring something to an end, or if you guys are having a topic of conversation, maybe muddling the truth a bit to try to just make the conversation come to an end or get to a new point with you, maybe kind of flexing the truth a little bit. It doesn't feel like a full-on lie, but it feels like maybe an embellishment or just a way to kind of like hide something that he doesn't fully feel comfortable telling you. All right, so Anna. Anna, I am getting a yes, and it's interesting because this comes with the Ace of Swords, and this is talking about defense, defending yourself to new things. Can be protecting your own mental state, your own physical well-being. Bria. I have a yes, Bria. I have romantic expression, Knight of Cups. Margaret. I do think the situation has come to an end, Margaret. I am getting a yes, the world. This is the end of a chapter. Aesthetic Delta. Aesthetic Delta, I am getting a yes, Knight of Cups. I don't know if it's fully intentional because the tower is at the bottom of the deck. So I don't know if this is like a conscious thought, meaning that I don't think that she's out here like looking for someone like intentionally. I don't think she's going out of her way, but she could be subconsciously kind of keeping that wall up or keeping that block going because maybe she thinks that she should be keeping her options open. Amy. Rocky, I have your question. Thank you for leaving it. Lena, I have your yes, no. James, I have your yes, no. Hey, IJ, welcome in. James, hello. Chibi, I have your question. Amy, I am getting a yes, Queen of Swords. This is the energy, though, of him saying my, like, practical mind is taking control of my emotions. Like, his thought is dominating his feelings. He's thinking with his mind over his heart, that kind of thing. But, yeah, I am getting a yes. Ari, fired at previous job for being too slow. Let's see. Was this the reason? Ari wants to know, was this the reason? Ari, yes. I have the Queen of Wands. I have the Seven of Cups, which makes me feel like there could have been more than one reason, but that was the main one. The Queen of Wands is like Leo energy, very like fun, outgoing, very social, which can definitely be a quality of yours, but maybe they felt you weren't as focused on your work as you could be, which contributed to the slowness, or what they're what they're saying is you being slow, but maybe they felt like your focus wasn't like on work or something. Maybe you were trying to make friends, or I don't really know what this is, but I am getting a yes in a roundabout way. This is the reason, but with the 7 of Cups here, it makes me feel like it could have been more than that. It's like, I don't know, there's like a fiery energy here, which is interesting because the word fire, like losing a job, could be a double meaning. Gabriella. So, Gabrielle, I have a yes. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Not really sure how this applies to the question because I don't fully understand it, but I am getting a yes for you. Shayna J. Oh, this is for her donation. Pisces. Ari, you were surprised. You think there was more than one reason. You're welcome, Aesthetic. You're welcome. Sienna, I have your question. You only worked for 2 weeks. They could have given you more time. Ari, yeah, sometimes when you're dealing with like a corporate situation, it's like the turnover is so high because they don't value you as an individual. They're just like, if they're not getting the job done, like, we'll just find someone else. And it's a really horrible way to look at somebody, because you shouldn't look at workers as being irreplaceable. You're never going to have quality work. So yeah, I'm sorry that happened, but maybe it was for the best. You're welcome. Amy, I think that's a great plan. Get yourself out there and have fun meeting new people, getting social. All right, Pisces get the job they're interviewing for. Ooh, I am getting a yes, Pisces. I have the 4 of Wands and Page of Pentacles. So this is like a happy outcome for you and unexpected, like, opportunities, good news, things like that. Precious. I have a yes, Chariot. Keep moving forward, Precious. Keep moving forward with this. Hard work, focus will work. You'll work things out with this person if you just keep that as like your primary priority. Rocky's World. All right, so this is for the donated reading. Sorry, Rocky. Lena, will I get an 80% on my exams? I have a yes, Page of Swords. This is the student. So if you've already taken the test, I feel like this is good news. And if you haven't, this is indicating you to use your interest, your vigilance, your time to really, really study. The Page of Swords is in observation. It's the type of energy where you're doing research and you're looking things up, and you're kind of doing like a deep dive into whatever topic or topics you will be tested on. So making sure that you're utilizing this energy and really just making it your primary focus is going to really help boost that percentage. But again, if you've already taken the exams, there's nothing else you can do. I feel like that's a yes. James. I'm getting a no, Knight of Swords, James. I feel like she's too, what is the word, choppy. Like, I feel like she's just ruining relationships left and right, James. So, because like the Knight of Swords is like very, very hasty. And it's the type of energy where I'm just going to cut people down and I'm going to like, it's just very choppy. There's no connection here. Feels like a very interrupted energy. So I feel like she's more so ruining relationships rather than building them, but maybe repair is coming for her. We'll see. I don't think that she's involving herself with anyone else right now. All right, Chibi. I am getting a yes. We have the Judgment card. So there might be some type of unification or healing that Tommy is trying to invoke between you and David, possibly. Sienna. Sienna, I am getting a yes. We have the 8 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. Your person is feeling a bit defeated right now and is not in the energy to receive any communication from you. Okay? So I would take their request seriously. You're welcome, Pisces. You're welcome, everyone. And since it's been a while, I wanted to give some extra details for y'all's reading, so hopefully you enjoyed that. Amy, I think that's great. Get yourself out there. Get yourself on some social apps or find like a local coffee shop. I'm sure they have apps to meet friends too, which is also an option. Just see what's in your area. Take a class. I know as an adult it's harder to meet friends, but I do feel like it's possible still to find new ways to socialize. Arguably, in some ways, it might be easier to find friends now because of all of the ways that we can interact. You're welcome, Precious. Hey, S Virgo. Thanks for letting me know. You're welcome, Lena. You're welcome, Chibi. All right, so that is it for the free list for the night. Let me update the donation list. And I think actually we'll go ahead and close it as well. So Shayna and Rocky. Yeah, let's go ahead and close all the lists. Thank you guys for your support tonight. We got a lot of donations in very quickly. And I just have to get myself situated. First on our list is IJ. So IJ, if you want to drop your questions while I get myself together here, feel free to do that. All right, James. So you're welcome, Dodger. She did a thing where she sent you along for her voice message. Did she send you a voice message? Okay, gotcha. Right. A voice message that was long for her. Yeah. Okay. I feel like, well, I'm going to start off by saying I have the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. And this indicates, like, to me, what feels like an olive branch. And not an olive branch in the traditional sense of, let me offer something to you so we can find common ground. I'm trying to make amends. It's not like that, but it's just like a way to reach out to you, like a touchstone of sorts, is what it feels like to me. That maybe she was feeling more open and more emotionally engaged, I would say, like wanting to give a more personal and thoughtful message, showing that she's emotionally invested and wanting to share something with you. That maybe she was feeling comfortable and connected to you and was just like, let me, not a grand gesture, but a gesture. Let me extend something to him. You're welcome, Sienna. That can make him feel like I am trying to connect with him, or I am trying to show that I am invested in this. This is so weird. I keep hearing new job. Like kind of what you would do if you were setting goals for yourself or creating a new solid beginning or dealing with things when it comes to earthly matters. Like I feel like I'm getting that she's trying to maybe realign her life somehow to where like her spiritual desire or her soulful desire can align with like her physical life or her physical well-being. So I feel like there's a lot of adjustments that are happening for her lately, is what I will say. I think that maybe she's wanting to show you interest, but also give a little bit more of herself. And again, I don't know the content of this voice message, but I think that what's been going on with her is that she's been having deeper thoughts and reflections and maybe felt the need to communicate something with you that she felt she hadn't been clear on, or that you don't know about her, or that she wanted to provide insight on. The fact that it's a voice message, it's more personal than a text, and it could point to her wanting to convey a tone to you, an emotion, a sincerity that a writing within itself wouldn't be able to emulate, I guess you could say. And I feel like maybe she was hoping for reciprocation too, because here's the thing, like when we want something from someone that we feel we're not getting, we will tend to give them that thing. Okay. So, like, if you're wanting more compliments from someone, you will most likely compliment that person more because you're looking for something to be reciprocated back from them in that way. So, I think it could also be from her too, sending a voice message is like, hey, I really like when he sends me voice messages. I'm trying to reach out and show him that I do like this when we are able to communicate via voice with each other. And it could signal that she's missing that from you or hoping to get more of that from you as well. I think that she just is like, let me find a way to re-engage with him on a more personal level. Maybe you're okay, so maybe you're getting the new job. Okay. Cause I'm like, what am I hearing all of a sudden? New job, new job. I couldn't like I wasn't even gonna say anything, but I was like, nah, when it comes in so strongly like that, I have to say it out loud. Okay, so maybe this is your energy that I'm tapping into. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling from her. Like, I think this is basically her trying to nurture your connection, show that she's open, shows that she's interested, maybe trying to find a new way to build with you where you guys can take it into a more like more often voice communication, you know? Yay! Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you reciprocated. I'm sure she appreciated that. It doesn't mean that she's not going to go back to texting. That might be easier in certain circumstances. You agree? Okay, perfect. What does your team feel like you're ready to know at this time? Oh. You are still, IJ, you're still working at your job that you have had, right? Like you haven't left yet. Because I'm getting the word like recognition. Like maybe someone is like trying to commend you or provide an accolade of some sort to basically say, hey, you're doing a really good job. Or maybe someone's trying to poach you because they're recognizing your efforts, or they're saying, hey, remember that conversation we had? An opportunity has presented itself and I would love to talk more with you about this. I don't know. I just feel like there's some type of recognition that's happening here for you, and you might actually be having someone come in and basically try to snatch you up, like hijack you basically from the current place that you're at right now. Like I feel almost like someone's trying to, and I feel like this is almost like a blessing in disguise, because I feel like it's like your way of saying, hey, universe, this is what I'm looking for. And they're basically sending someone in to kind of say, hey, I'm interested in you. And I think that you have a lot to offer, you know, career wise. And like, I want to invite you in on this opportunity, or I want you to be a part of this thing. And so I don't know. I just feel like someone's coming in to really recognize your talent, your experience. I don't think it's going to be very hard for you either to find another job, even if it's like a meanwhile job, like if it's a temporary thing just to get by for now until you are able to build bigger and better things for yourself. But I don't know why I'm just getting like this recognizing of your achievements or something like that is happening here. I feel like also it's kind of a call to you to understand that you should also celebrate your accomplishments, whether they're big or small, recognizing your own growth and how far you've come, encouraging you to step into your power and fully embrace and acknowledge what it is that you deserve. I think sometimes we can stay stuck. And maybe this is a pat on the back for you, IJ, to say, hey, like you have outgrown the place that you're in right now. You deserve to recognize that, maybe this is not what you deserve anymore. Like it's time for you to move on. And so maybe this is not a suggestion to celebrate your accomplishment and acknowledge what you deserve. Maybe it's a round of applause from your spiritual team saying, hey, we see you and we see that you're understanding like this isn't where you're supposed to be anymore. We're so happy for you because we're not having to come in and get you fired from this place because you're not doing the work and you're seeing what it is that you need to be doing before we even have to intervene. You know what I mean? Like, because your self-worth and your recognition of that is putting you and setting you up into a better place. Because if you think about it, if you're staying stuck in a job that you're not supposed to be in, you have two options. You can recognize it and you can set yourself up and go ahead and start looking for another job and getting yourself out of there. Or you can stay stuck, but knowing that your spiritual team is going to come and intervene, potentially get you fired. And then you're going to be like, shit, now I've got 4 or 5 months without a job. Whereas if you had just like leaned into that feeling and that intuition and started doing the work already in advance, then you wouldn't be in that situation. So like, I feel like Spirit's coming in and just commending you for that and commending you for recognizing your strengths and where you're wanting your life, your personal life to lead and your career life to lead, and taking those prompts, taking those call to action. So that way you're coming into alignment for yourself. Do you know what I mean? You said 100. Okay. Right. Okay. Just making sure. Trying to see if anything else is coming through. I just feel like they want you to trust that you have what it takes to succeed in life as well. You're coming into alignment, but if you ever have any doubts, they trust that you have what it takes. You're kind of in the season of life where you should be stepping into the spotlight. Okay. You're not too much. You're not asking for too much. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and don't be afraid to kind of get yourself in front of the metaphorical camera, or even the literal camera. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and get yourself in the spotlight. I think that you have I think we're coming upon IJ 3.0, I feel like we're coming into this time where you're leveling up and you're evaluating your choices and stepping into a more evolved version of yourself as well. I feel like your guides are saying you're ready to embrace a higher calling and make an important transformation. So I think what's going to happen, or at least that's what I'm hearing, is that some stuff from your past might start coming up for you, IJ. This is not the time to revert back to old patterns. This is time to free yourself from any past baggage or any last minute shedding that needs to happen sometimes before big things are coming our way, before we're stepping into the next phase of our life. I just smack myself in the face. before we're stepping into the next phase of our life, sometimes our past can come tumbling in because it's like, have you learned the lesson? Have you figured it out? Or like maybe some triggers might be feeling very strong for you. Again, this is not like let's revert to old ways. This is like saying, what is any last minute shedding, any like residual stuff do I need to let go of? But I'm so happy for you, and I thought this was such a beautiful reading, and I hope you enjoyed it. You're very welcome, IJ. Thank you so much for always showing your support. Oh, I just saw you said you feel more determined. That's awesome. I love that feeling. I need more of that feeling. I'm not discouraged, but I'm not determined lately. I'm just like trying to get by. Like that's how I've been feeling. So I just need some of that determination to rub off on me. But that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. All right. James is up next. James, we usually do channel messages first for him, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. This is channeled messages. After channeled messages, we're going to do a love 2 for James and then work on his BOGO. After that, we have Phoenix. Phoenix left their question with me, so we're good on that. And then after that, we have SB. I have her questions. Then we have Shayna. I have her question. And then we have Rocky, and I have her question. So we're good to go. No one else besides James has to leave their questions with me. And I think Amy said something to me earlier, which I completely meant to come back to. Okay. Amy, are you still in here? I'm not sure. If you are, I just saw that you said you'll be donating tomorrow, and that sounds good. All right, channeled message for James. James, if you end up checking in with me, just let me know. I just am curious if you're here.
We are about halfway through James's channeled message. If you are here and just hanging out, cool. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the chat. We do have a current donation list going that I'm trying to get through as quickly as possible. I need James to leave his BOGO questions with me if he hasn't already. And then additionally, our lists are closed for the night. So anybody else that wanted to make a donation, I'm not taking any more for the evening. If you happen to donate, you'll have to wait until next time I'm live to get that redeemed.
All right, this is for James. We are going to send you your channeling. All right, James. So, she says, it's time to put my big girl pants on and take some accountability. Something didn't feel right the last time we talked. It just wasn't sitting right with me, and I had to come tell you that I'm sorry. I know I have to grow up. That's what I keep telling myself. I'm getting tired of my behavior, so I know that you are too. I don't want to get in my own way or in the way of us. I feel a bit better that the dialogue is more open to confront things directly. I hope it can be more constructive. Hey, James, I just sent you your channeling for the night. I'm going to get started on your love too. Something interesting that was happening while I was working on your reading is a Paramore song was actually coming to my mind. And it's the Paramore song called Ain't It Fun? And it's essentially, if you don't know it, I feel like everybody has to know this song, but if you don't know it, it's essentially about the transition from childhood into adulthood. So, what I feel like she's bringing to the connection, which feels a little new, again, old habits die hard. But I feel like it's her way of saying, I need to grow up. Like she's telling herself, I need to grow up. I can't just continue with these like childhood ways of being or childhood ways of thinking. And the song is essentially just transitioning from childhood way of thinking into adulthood. And it's kind of like her telling herself that the world doesn't revolve around you. And what is she going to do about it? This is the real world. And, you know, I may feel like I'm running things, but out there, I'm not. And like, I'm not going to ignore my issues anymore. And I'm, not wanting to be in a bubble anymore. And I'm like, I gotta get my shit together kind of thing. And it's hard because I feel like, when you're so used to having a certain type of life or a certain type of personality or a certain way of living, you kind of get there in your comfort zone. And that's what we've been talking about for the longest time with her, is her getting in her own way and her staying stuck where it's comfortable. And a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. So, it was just really interesting that the song, as I'm doing like your shuffling and doing your readings, that's what's coming through. But anyways, let's dig in a little bit more. Let me pull these cards real quick. Okay, I got your bokos. Well, what I will say is that she's treading carefully. Um I want to let you know, I'm almost feel like I'm getting remote viewing, which is like really, really weird, but and it doesn't happen to me very often, but I have to tell you that I know sometimes you check in with me, you like give me updates, and like the messages I was reading tonight that you had sent, that conversation between you guys, I was feeling her like skimming your message. She was picking out like key points, and like I'm realizing that that's what she does. She doesn't actually read everything you're saying word for word as it's laid out. She like skims and like picks out certain details, and I think that she was feeling very, very scared in that moment seeing your message, because I seriously think that she felt deep inside that she had ruined something with you, because she was like, oh shit, like I really messed up. And like you and I had talked about, I know that there was like this energetic sense that she was feeling, like she knew something big was about to happen. And if she didn't like come with some accountability, you were going to drop the nuke or whatever. So energetically between the two of you guys, I think that she was feeling that, and I think that that was sending a lot of fear into her. But it's good because it's creating this turning point, which I do hope she grows from. And I hope that she doesn't go, oh, that was easy to get back in his good graces, like let me just keep being how I'm being. I really do hope that this was allowed to be a turning point for you guys, and that this is the turning point that I was feeling for you. We will see. But I do feel like she was scared. I really feel that way. And I feel like she was basically not cherry picking, but like she was basically skimming your message, like picking out certain points, like how is he responding to me. She sometimes, I think, likes to see the endings before things happen. I don't know how she feels about like spoilers, for example. I hate them. My sister loves them. She wants to know what's going to happen because she wants to know what comes next. She never wants to be surprised. I don't want things ruined for me. It seemed almost like she read the end of what you said before she even really got into the guts of it. I do feel like she did go and read everything word for word after the fact, but it was almost like that initial feeling of like skimming your messages. Is he saying anything bad to me? Does he hate me? How is he ending this message? And then also just her own fear on top of that, because she was feeling extremely vulnerable, and she was like holding her breath for some kind of reaction from you. And then I think because you were kind of like, she's like, I'm finally vulnerable with him and he's running off, like she felt almost like unimportant in that moment, and that bothered her. Why? Because you always make her feel important, and you make her feel important in times where she's not feeling vulnerable. So the time that she did feel vulnerable, she was hoping for maybe like more from you, or not feeling like you were in a hurry. The problem is that everything can't be on her own time, and I think that she has to learn that lesson the hard way. And I think that your response was incredibly thoughtful, and I think that in time she'll realize that it really wasn't that big of a deal. But I could sense from her, yes, she was very scared. She was very, very, very worried, and for multiple reasons. Your reaction scared her, and then also her own vulnerability was being put out there, and then your reaction on top of that vulnerability was also making her feel like very wide open. You said you're exactly on the money. She was telling me she was scared I wasn't going to be receptive. So I think that there was just like a lot of nervousness that was going on. But the thing is that that song is like playing in my head over and over and over, because I think she's, dare I say, finally getting it. I think that she's realizing that the world doesn't revolve around her, and that she needs to make that transition into adulthood. And it's like something about you just blowing up and like you putting it out there and you putting your feelings on paper. Even if she didn't fully receive that message, she got it. She got that message. I feel very, very strongly about that, because that was a very powerful thing. And your anger and your frustration, and you're just like finally like releasing it out there, and it was directed at her. So like that was such a potent concentrated, intentional energy that there's no way she didn't feel it. And I feel like she just got really, really scared. So yeah, like that's one of like the big takeaways here in this reading for me, that I think she's like, okay, time to repair, damage control. She is treading lightly because I think that she's like, I don't want to make the wrong move anymore. It's a little different. It's feeling a little different between you guys. I think that she is trying to come and approach this connection with a little bit more determination. I think also, James, your reaction towards her is you're asserting your authority, and your own autonomy over yourself. You're saying, like, look, you can act any which way you want to, Patty, but I'm not going to sit here and subject myself to it. So do you, but like, at some point I got to put my foot down. And I feel like there's a shift in you. The way you're approaching things with her is different. And I think that she's picking up on that. She's sensing that shift. And I think that's helping her to be more direct. But there's definitely a sense of urgency in her approach. Like, she's eager to make things work. She's eager to get back on your good side. Again, sometimes she can be a bit impulsive because we do have the Knight of Swords here. But I feel like she's sitting here going, holy fuck, I need to fix this. Because I think that she's realizing that you might be one of the very last people that she can rely on. And, it's not even that. It's not even just what you can do for her. It's about what she doesn't want to lose within you. I think that there's a level of uncertainty too, but I think it has to do with what you think of her. I think she's very worried about what you think of her, and there's like a feeling of restriction there because of that. I think that she's like, at some point he's going to get tired of my shit, and he might already be there. And like, what do I do if I push him too far? Because she's always been testing you, James. She's always been testing your patience with her, how much you'll let her get away with. But I think that she realizes that she's knocking on that door. She's at that threshold. And I think that it's making her very nervous. And I think that you should not do anything different. I think you should continue with that feeling of your email. And I think obviously you can soften to her and accept her apology, but I don't think you should change how you have been. I think that you need to continually put your foot down, and you need to set boundaries with her, and you need to say, I can accept your apology, but like, you've got some work to do to get back in my good graces, because I can't keep putting myself through this. She needs to feel that from you. She needs to feel the fear of losing you. And I have told you this. I told you that years ago when my now husband, then boyfriend, we were first starting to date, I had a lot of insecurities. I had a lot of issues that I had not dealt with. I had not confronted. I dealt with a lot of people not coming through with their promises for me. And it was very, very hard for me to trust because of everything that I had been through. And he at that time was like, you know what? I've dealt with this for 9 months. And he was like, and I've tried to be patient, and I've tried to be there for you. And I've I've been taking on the brunt of the issues of other people that I did not cause, that other people did, but I am trying to be sensitive to that for you. However, enough is enough, and I can't do it anymore. So if you can't figure it out and you can't work through it without associating me, I don't know if I can continue this relationship. And it took him putting his foot down and me realizing that my fear of losing him was bigger than my fear of oh, can I trust him or not? Because that really wasn't what it was about. I had a fear of abandonment, and I realized that my fear of losing him was bigger than any other fear I could possibly have in the relationship, and that I needed to work through that. And that he was right. It wasn't fair to keep pushing him, testing. So With that being said, this is why I'm telling you, set that boundary, continue to set that boundary, because she needs to realize that her fear of losing you is bigger than any other fear she could possibly have about this connection. That will be the turning point of your relationship. I think that she's very present with you. I think her intention is to just be in the here and now, not focus a lot on what's going on long term. I think she's really just, trying to be here and trying to be like present and like working through these things. But I do think that she is preparing herself for what could possibly come ahead for the both of you. I do feel like she's trying to build herself back like in a better way. She's trying to create her own sense of stability, and she's trying to understand where she's lacking and where she's limited and where she needs areas that she needs to work on. And I think that's essentially like what her intention and overall energy is right now, is just, okay, I need to figure this out because I can't keep putting him through this. Now, it is the Nine of Pentacles, so it does make me feel like she's got to go through this independently. Like, this is her work. This is not your work, James. This isn't her mom's work or her sister's work or whoever. This is Patty's work. This is what she's got to do and what she's got to go through, and it has to be independently. It doesn't mean you can't be alongside her while she does this work, but it does mean that she has to do it on her own and she has to want it for herself. I'm not getting any current influences or blocks. I did get a no for that. So that's what I have for your love too, James. Let's shuffle for your BOGOs. Well, first of all, I'm getting very strongly that she's extremely relieved to be in the place that you guys are now. I think that she's very aware that she's got work to do, and I think that she knows that you guys are not in a perfect place just yet, but I think that she's satisfied. Like, she would say she's satiated for the time being with where things are with you right now. She can feel good about it. It's just, before she was like, something is not sitting right with me. Like, I feel very uncomfortable about this situation. And I think that it was definitely something that was weighing heavy on her. So I think she's okay right now. Relief is the main thing that she's feeling. She doesn't, it's like so weird for such a confrontational type of person hating confrontation the way that she does. It's wild. It's like she's okay with confrontation if she's putting the blame on someone else, but when it comes to confrontation where she's in the spotlight and she has to be the one to like apologize, it's like, no, that's completely like against her nature. So she's just really happy for that conversation to be put behind you guys, where you guys can just continue moving forward. And I think deep down, James, she really doesn't want you to think that she doesn't value you or she doesn't care about you. It's like, she's like, that couldn't be farther from the truth. It's just, how would he know? Because my actions tell him something completely different. And I think that's where it gets hard. And I think, James, because you're reading her energetically, you're not reading her physically, you also know that deep down that she values you, but she doesn't act like it. And that's where that conflict happens, because you're an energy reader. So it's like you can see right to the truth of it all. But if she hasn't caught up, her physical self hasn't caught up with her energetic self, then you're seeing a very unhealed version of her, and that's very frustrating for you. In terms of how she views you romantically, is very positive. She admires you, and she does feel a sense of respect towards you. I think that you stand out to her. Like she really, it's so weird, because I really do feel like she celebrates you, and she's like, for instance, here, this is a really great example. If you guys were dating, she would be so proud to like show you off, because she'd be like, he's got the coolest job ever, and like he does this and this and this, and like this is the type of person he is, and he treats me so well. Like, you are a catch, and she would be really happy to show you off as a romantic partner. So that's what I mean by like, you stand out to her. Now there is that contradiction, because that what makes you stand out, and what would make you be a catch, and what would make her be proud to have you on her arm, is also the things that make her feel insecure and inferior. So there's that, contradiction there. And I think until she can build that confidence within herself, she will have a hard time having you be by her side. However, if we can get her confidence up, and that way she doesn't feel so inferior to you, then she can say, actually, it's a plus. It's an added bonus for him to be in my life in a romantic way. And I think there's where you'll get the recognition that you deserve from her. Okay, because she needs some of that confidence that you have. And again, you built your confidence brick by brick. I know this is something that wasn't just handed to you. I know this was something that you had to work through. Hopefully she can mimic that and, use that as something to model herself from. So that way she can feel as special as you make her feel. I do think she likes the attention from you and the validation that she gets from being with you as well. I think that she sees you as someone who brings balance into her life. You're a giver. You're very generous, very fair. No matter what, no matter what she does, you still know how to kind of bring it back to into perspective and bring love back into the equation. And I think that when she really screws up, I think that it just makes her really love you even more. And I think that it makes her respect you and makes her want to be more reciprocative, or whatever the word is, with you. And I think that it's important to her, maybe suddenly, I don't really know where this is coming from. Maybe this is something sudden, but she really wants you to feel that you're benefiting from her as well. And it's not just like a one-sided thing where you're giving to her and she's not giving back. So when she speaks of you to other people, it's of love and admiration and overflowing affection. And I hope, again, tread lightly. Don't put all your eggs in this basket right now. But I want to say that I think something big is happening, because she's wanting to hold herself accountable. And I think that she's coming to you with an apology that feels very heartfelt. It feels genuine. It feels real. And I think that the only way that this would stop, or this could potentially be ruined, is if you go back to your old ways with her. And as long as you set your boundaries with her, and as long as she knows that she can't have access to you whenever she wants, and that you have a life too, and that she can't talk to you or treat you certain ways, as long as you're continuing to draw that line with her, I think that it can only get better from here. And I hope that it only gets better from here. So let's take a look at your future together. After James, we have Phoenix. Hey Phoenix, thanks for checking in. I'll be with you very soon. I just have one more reading to do. So James, I think there's real potential here, honestly. I think so long as you feel appreciated and you feel like the energy is reciprocated back to you, I really think that you guys have something that you can build here together. That could be pretty strong. The Ace of Pentacles is making me feel like she's, is the word inspired right? She's, yeah, I guess we could say inspired by a new beginning with you, like a turning point. That there's a solid foundation being laid between you guys, and like this is feeling kind of hopeful for me. um the issue has always been, why doesn't she see what she's doing? Like, really, that when you get down to it and break it down to the core of what it is that she doesn't see what she's doing. And if she does, she's like not acknowledging it and not wanting to see it, and in denial. And I think that this is almost like a micro step. This is a baby step to building a better foundation, something with lasting value. And it speaks to the start of maybe a new phase in your relationship where both of you guys have the opportunity to build something secure and tangible in a grounded way, that, eventually focuses on long term success. I feel like there's, I don't know, like you guys are laying bricks. And I think that if she can continue to nurture your relationship and she can like hold back her most basic instincts to be triggered by things that you say and be very reactive to it, I think that you guys could, like, this could be a positive sign for emotional stability moving forward and the potential to flourish into something lasting and meaningful. It's going to be layered. It's going to be step by step. But what is new with your guys' connection? The Seven of Swords here is talking about approach this with caution. Understand that, this is not always going to be an easy ride. However, I think that if she's willing to open up to you, because she has the tendency to hide her true feelings and avoid certain conversations and keep you at a distance, and she's admitting this and she's recognizing this about herself, I think that she, I feel like this is definitely something that's going to have to happen slowly. But I do think that as long as she can work out of a place of fear or hesitation, and you continue to be that stable, but like I'm setting my boundary, but stable person in her life, I think that there could be something great that comes from this. I think her main issue is pushing people away. It's not, it's like avoiding the hard truths. It's betraying her own feelings because of whatever is holding her back in her limiting belief. So as long as she can be aware of her patterns of avoidance that could cause issues down the line, and she addresses any concerns or doubts directly before they have a chance to fester, I really think that you guys could have something good here. It's so interesting to see the Seven of Swords like sandwiched between the Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, because it's like that's always been the issue. It's always been the underlying issue. It's never been a question of, does she have feelings for you or could she see a future with you? It's always been this, she's holding herself back. She's this self-limiting issue that she has within herself. And despite the potential challenges, the overall outcome between you guys could really be happiness and a deeper connection and sharing joy together and having the kind of relationship that other people look at and say, wow, I want a relationship like that. Look at everything that they have faced, everything that they've been through, and they finally made it here. And I really think that it could be something beautiful. And I think that that's where you guys can work towards the success and the feeling of contentment and the feeling of finding home within one another. So, yeah, I mean, there's still the potential here for a very happy, stable future. It looks promising despite like the Seven of Swords hanging out. I think that she just needs to continue to take these constructive steps of understanding parts of herself, why she reacts the way that she does. And I think that she needs to give you, James, a little bit more credit as well, because you've always been understanding. And like, if she has you've been understanding and you give her grace, and if she has a moment, you're like, it's fine, I forgive you, let's move on. She's not gonna find that with anyone else, or it might be harder to come by, so she really needs to see that if she's wanting to be able to work through these things and she wants someone by her side while she does that, there's no one better than you to do that with. So that's what I have for you, James. Hopefully you enjoyed your readings tonight. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Phoenix. So Phoenix, let's see. Mini energy check. All right. Scott, that helps connect more. It has been a minute. I wouldn't remember it. I have a hard time unless I've done like 70 readings for you and your person. Like I won't remember. So thank you for telling me. You're welcome, James. Isn't it crazy how energies can change? We always talk about how once someone makes a decision, boom, everything changes. The whole trajectory changes. And all it takes is a mental shift or a different decision or a different intention, and then everything can change. But the thing is that if that person's stuck there, they can be stuck there for months and you're going to get like the same information. So that's why they always say you can't fully rely on tarot. It's like a good check-in, but it's not ever going to be a lasting trajectory. Nothing is ever really fixed unless it's fate, in my opinion. But I think that, with these subtle shifts that are happening, I think that it's really helping your readings be more positive, which is definitely a good thing. But yeah, I do know it's been a roller coaster. I do know that. All right, let's shuffle for Phoenix. All right, so Phoenix, really quickly, did you want the love spread, or did you just want me to do like a open-ended energy read check for you? Because I have two options. I could do a love spread, or I can do like basically ask the question, like, please give me an open-ended energy check for how he feels about her. Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely do that for you. No worries. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. I didn't want to get confused. This is going to be a very genuine and authentic reading, Phoenix, because I, truth be told, do not remember the last reading that we did. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Oh, that's so crazy. Well, you are his empress, Phoenix. You're his empress. He sees you as someone who's caring and supportive, maternal, nurturing. The empress is like the wife and mother of his children kind of vibe. So he feels that you're of abundance and fertility, and that if he was going to carry on in a relationship with someone, it would be with you. He feels that you bring warmth and care and comfort into his life, and he sees you as someone who he can build a loving, nurturing connection with, and even like see you as his potential life partner, or maybe he already does see you as his life partner. I feel like he's very independent, self-sufficient, and like he's very confident within himself. Um, and I feel like he sees you as that as well. And so maybe he doesn't give you as much encouragement or reassurance as you would like him to, but he feels that you have a personal strength and he admires you. He admires the way you care for yourself and the way that you care for him. He sees you as someone very accomplished, and you have a strong sense of individuality, and potentially he sees you guys similarly in that way, and he feels that you might not need as much reassurance or encouragement because of that. And so I think that's definitely a talking point that you guys need to have, is like, yes, I'm strong. Yes, I'm confident. Yes, I've got a lot going for me, but in order for me to feel satisfied in this connection, I need to feel like you are being reassuring in that way. It's not for my own confidence, but it's for to strengthen our connection, to strengthen our bonds. Because I can see that there's some tension or conflict in the relationship here that could make misunderstandings happen where it doesn't need to happen. Like if there were just more love in certain moments and more encouragement in certain moments, then maybe arguments wouldn't happen, or feelings might not get hurt and things like that. I understand the communication's not entirely smooth, but maybe he also has some fears or insecurities that he needs to be communicating with you as well. I do feel that he looks at your relationship as very capable. Like the magician here talks about you guys having all of the ingredients that you need to make a successful relationship. And so I think that he thinks together you guys can create something very powerful. The issue is the Five of Swords coming in, making you guys question certain things. And I think like what you don't want is outside influences and assumptions to affect your relationship that otherwise would be very stable and secure. So number one, don't make assumptions about each other. Like if you're not sure about something or you're confused about something, like handle that directly. Give each other, the benefit of the doubt and handle that directly. And also understanding like, sometimes if we're feeling insecure, we can be asking that person for a little bit too much, like a little bit unnecessary, like extra, almost like moving into the territory of toxicity because we're so insecure that we're asking too much of them. But if you're asking for simple reassurance day to day, you're looking for just like an affirmation a couple times a week, that's not really asking too much at all. And I think that if you felt that love, that would make you feel like the relationship is strong. So maybe when those misunderstandings do come up or those assumptions can like rear their ugly head, that you would go, no, 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 he loves me, no, he cares for me. I'm not going to even go there in my head. So I think that what I would recommend is that communication happen in a sense of like maybe trying to figure out where his head is at, trying to do like a check-in and be like, hey, if you were to rate our relationship 1 to 10, 10 being fantastic, you wouldn't change a thing, 1 being horrible, we're on the edge of a breakup, what number would you say we're at? And then if he says like a 7, be like, what do you think would get us to a 10? Like, what can we do to get us to a 10? That's advice that I think anybody should take. And it's not that way. It's not pointing fingers. It's not saying, well, you this and I that, and I always do this and you never do that. And this is what I need from you and yada, yada, yada. It's basically just going, hey, let's do a check-in real quick. Where do you think we're at? Because if he says we're at a 10, I wouldn't change a thing. Then maybe that's your, like, you could go, wow, okay, he thinks we're doing amazing. So maybe it's just me and maybe it's just all in my head. And then if he's like, well, I think we're at like a 5, then you'd be like, okay, what do you think would get us to a 10? What can we do to get us there? Because I would love to be there. And then you can kind of start picking, his mind, and therefore it doesn't feel like anyone's pointing fingers. And it's a way to open the dialogue conversation. He could say, well, work's been really hard for me and it's difficult when you're constantly texting me, like I'm trying to get work done, and like, can we save those conversations for afterwards? Oh, great. Yes, absolutely. And then that answers your question as to why he's maybe a little bit frustrated by the time that you guys actually do talk, because that's been something that's been bothering him or whatever. And then you could say, okay, well, I think our relationship's at a 9. And then he can say, well, what can I do to make it a 10? And you could say, just needing some more reassurance from you would be helpful. It's just opening up the dialogue, and you don't have to take this advice if you don't want to. But I can see where he has a lot of strong positive feelings for you. But unfortunately, some of those challenges can tend to linger, creating tension and misunderstandings, and that I don't want it to get out of hand. And it might have already, I don't know. But that's like basically what I'm seeing. So hopefully this is helping. I'm not sure. But that's basically what I'm getting for your reading, Phoenix. Hey, SB. All right, let me shuffle for you. And then I saw that you sent your question. Okay, give me a second here. So SB, while I'm shuffling, how are you doing? Yay, I'm so happy to hear it. Did you guys ever go on that date? It was planned for today, but you have to reschedule. You leave for vacay this week. Oh, you had to reschedule it. Oh, that's so weird. I'm just getting like a certain craving for mac and cheese all of a sudden. That's bizarre. Well, that's exciting. Where are you going on vacation? Oh, sweet. Okay, that's cool. Well, I hope you have fun. Yeah, I remember you asking a while back about potentially moving there, I think it was. Okay, so we're going to start off on a great card here. We have the Six of Wands. It's a very positive card for success. It indicates the relationship has the potential to succeed as long as you guys are both putting in the effort to overcome any challenges. It does seem that there's some sadness surrounding not being able to have your date and see each other. And I can't really tell if that's from him or you. I think it might be both, but I think it's more on his side for some reason. And so I want to reiterate that it's going to be very important that you guys are both putting in the effort into this connection for you both to feel that your feelings are being reciprocated. You have lots of sixes and lots of sevens. So the sevens indicate like, well, sixes are reciprocation. Okay, so sixes talk about like the balance, the give and take, that kind of thing. And seven in numerology indicates like a destiny number, a spiritual significance, a card of wisdom. So you have a lot of sixes and sevens in this reading. And that's indicating to me that this can be a very powerful relationship for the two of you. This can be life-changing kind of stuff. But you guys both have to make sure that you're putting in the effort. Now, I do feel like for him, because I have under what's hidden, we have the Six of Cups, that there might be some unresolved emotional issues that he's needing to resolve. That's something that you would need to be aware of. That could be unintentionally influencing the relationship. I don't think it's your past that's bothering him. I think it's his own past. But the Six of Cups is here as like a what's hidden. So there's definitely something alluding to something that has previously happened. You said you're sad about it too. Had family come into town randomly, so he had to host them. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Well, as long as you guys are both making sure. I almost saw that as play date. You said letting him plan the next date. I was seeing that as play date for some reason. I definitely think like making sure that you both are on the same page and you're like, we're not just canceling just to cancel. We really do want to see each other is going to be very important. The energy around the relationship. I feel like because you both are not exactly where you want to be in the connection, there could be a sense of possessiveness around one another, like the sense of needing to protect the relationship. I'm not saying that you're communicating your relationship to other people or that he is, but he may feel the need to defend or protect your relationship with each other. Feel like he has to like explain himself as to why things are happening, and you might feel the same way. Maybe they're like, well, why is this happening? And maybe there could be potential. I don't want to like definitely say this, but if you ever come to the point where you feel there's external pressures or judgments that are coming around, or feel like you really need to fight for this or fight for your connection because people aren't fully understanding what you guys have together, that may be something that comes up. But right now, I think that it's this feeling of possessiveness because we're not where we want to be. So I don't want someone to come and swoop in and take them away from me. And so there could be kind of like that going on around the relationship. It's neither bad nor good. It's just neutral. It is what it is at this time. You said, wow, he mentioned having a play date with the family. Oh my god, that's so crazy. Yeah, I like saw Playdate. It was like the way that my brain like scrambled the sentence into Playdate. That's funny. All right, so strengths and weaknesses. We have Four of Cups and Page of Cups, which is interesting because you think Four of Cups is negative, Page of Cups is positive, but it's in the opposite. Maybe you guys are just seeking more from each other and you're feeling like discontent and not being fulfilled emotionally and romantically the way that you would want to be. And that could be kind of hard for you guys. But I think it might also be what makes you guys try so hard for this relationship too at the same time. And as far as the negative, quote unquote negative, what pulls you guys apart, what could be seen as a complication or difficulty in your connection, is that neither of you are quite ready to fully express your emotions to each other. So maybe there's a disconnect when he thinks, well, how does she feel about me? And he's wondering over there. And like you're doing the same thing. You're like, okay, but how does he really feel about me? And that happens at any stage of a relationship. Communication is so important. Being direct and being honest with people are so important because at any point things can change and you cannot know how someone feels about you. So it's just really important that, you guys will eventually get to that place where you can be vulnerable and you can say maybe the things that you've been avoiding. Seven of Swords, what he wants. Seven of Swords and what he wants. I think he's putting a wall up with you right now. It's like out of his own protection or something, out of his own preservation. He's avoiding like exposing himself right now. Now I do feel like he's the type of person that likes to plan surprises as well. So there could be something that he's planning that he's wanting to keep like a secret, but that's more like a surprise or strategy. Because he wants to like excite you and make you happy with whatever it is that he's planning. But I do feel like he's feeling like he's scared to be emotionally exposed, like almost like he's going, I'll tell you if you tell me, I'll show you yours if you show me mine. Like I think he's worried about putting himself out there first. But there is this, like I mentioned it before, but there is this like innate like feeling of responsibility. Like he's like, I want her to be the one to tell me first, but I feel like it's my responsibility to be the first one to initiate. Maybe that's just him being like, I'm the man, I gotta like sack up, like I've got to be the one that really puts my intentions out there. It's up to me, because traditionally it's up to the man to ask out on a date, and it's up to the man to ask for a phone number, and it's up to the man to ask you to become official, and it's up to the man to propose. And like maybe traditionally he just feels like it's his responsibility, or the weight is on his shoulders. But I feel like he's also like, but I want her to do it first because I'm scared. Scared of the reaction. So that keeps coming up. I feel like you're looking for open communication from him as well. You're craving clear understanding of where you guys are at. It's like you can kind of pitter patter about it all day and like walk around the truth. But I think that what would make you really excited is feeling transparency and allowing that transparency to let you see a fresh start to the connection and like where this can really go. Let's see. His true intentions, 8 of Swords. There's definite fear and mental limitations he's putting on himself. I think he holds back a lot with you. I feel like he feels a deep connection with you, SB, but I think that he really like, because he wants to act on impulses with you quite a bit, and I think that he's always like holding back. I think that he's like, no, I can't mess this up. I don't want to be too forward. Because like, here's the thing, and you're gonna know what I'm talking about because I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna be like, oh my god, that totally happens. You say something to him that's a little flirty and he matches your energy immediately. Like, I think that he goes as far as you will let him go. I think that's what it is. And I think that he's really trying to take your lead. And so, you're kind of like, wait, where is this coming from? But you notice he will match you. A lot of the times, if you get flirty with him, he'll get a little flirty back because he's watching what you do to see how far he can take that thing. And because that happens, he said, yes, you're right. Because that happens, that should be your reassurance. And that's my reassurance to you that he is feeling you, that he is like interested. And every single time he does that, just remind yourself, okay, he is into me, because he is just trying to make sure that he's doing everything the right way. How he feels about you, the world, like you're his world, like he views you as the world. This card also indicates travel, so that could be why this card is coming up right now. But like he views you as something significant in his life, and a point where he could feel fulfilled, that you could potentially complete him. Like the world suggests that he sees you as a great partner and someone that brings him a sense of completion. And that could also be a sexual innuendo, a feeling of wholeness, and suggesting that you are very important to him and that you play a big role in his life. So don't discredit yourself for, the role that you play for him in his life. Oh, he told you he's so honored to know you and feels he is unworthy. No. Yeah, there's a lot going on there that needs to be unpacked, but it's for him, 6 of Cups, what's hidden for him is this past experience that may be influencing your connection. Something has made him feel insignificant in the past, or inferior or unworthy in some way, and that's something he's going to have to work through. All right, I'm putting your cards back in. We're going to shuffle for your next question. You said you told him that he shouldn't feel that way, that you'd remind him of his worthiness. Oh. Yeah, you might be healing something in him. All right, so, oh my god, after I said you might be healing something in him, I got the Two of Cups. That's cute. All right, guys, after SB, we're about halfway through her readings right now. We have Shayna J after that. She left her question with me, but Shayna J, if you're here and you want to check in, feel free to do so. I've got to be done in about the next 40 minutes, so I'm going to be working efficiently and thoroughly, but as quickly as I possibly can. I'm just scanning these cards. They're really good. Really, really good cards. I think there's quite a few things he's going to be doing. So we have the Two of Cups. So I think he'll be initiating deeper conversations because, as we all know, the Two of Cups talks about mutual attraction, partnership, and deep emotional connection. So in a tangible thing, like in a literal thing, what would he be doing to show these intentions? It would be initiating deep conversations with you, opening up more emotionally, sharing his feelings, thoughts, and desires. He might be showing romantic gestures because, like, not always do we have like audible expression. Sometimes it's a gesture, sometimes it's an act of service. That's why they talk about all the love languages. So I feel like there could be, if he's like, okay, if he's not initiating deeper conversations, maybe talking is not his strong suit, but he'll be showing you, right? He may engage in small acts of romance or affection that show this emotional connection that he's feeling with you, or maybe a physical. Maybe he's going to create opportunities for like a physical connection with you, like bringing you in closer, holding your hand, or spending more quality time together. Basically, whatever his love language is, he's going to be strengthening that. He's going to be exposing you more to that part of himself. And you said that he does like surprises, I think you said. Wait, where was it? I think you said that it might be a surprise, or you can see him surprising you. So like that's an act of service in a sense. And then depending on what the date is or whatever the surprise is, could lead into something else that's like a different love language, like quality time or whatever. But I feel like he's just going to be showing you more of himself, just like pursuit and expressions to show his interest, essentially. I think that with the Six of Swords here, he's going to be wanting to work through like giving you more clarity and taking next steps forward. And I think that he's essentially going to try his best to show you where he stands. This is so weird because remember I said I'm getting like the taste for mac and cheese? Like that's so weird us because it's coming through again, and I had said the thing about play date. So I'm like, I wonder if like this is a very kid oriented time for him right now. Is his family there with him now? Because for some reason I keep picking up like all this like kid stuff that's happening. But yeah, so back to your reading. I think that he's really just going to try to make sure that he's setting aside the time and energy to make sure that you feel like you understand his investment in you and that you understand his intention. I think that he also may be doing things like wanting to have heart-to-heart conversations or wanting to provide clarity to you. Maybe explaining, maybe say, hey, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been acting XYZ and I've been wondering that about myself. So I've been doing a deep dive into that and realizing that I have a origin story here and it triggers me now. But now that I put a name to it, I can really work through that. So if that's something you've been noticing about me, just know I'm working on it. Like, this might not even just be about his feelings for you. This might be just him saying, hey, if you've noticed these things about me, I'm aware of it and I'm working on it. Just trying to like provide clarity in that realm also might be very important for him. He's wanting to take practical steps forward. So whatever like the next thing, the next natural step for you guys would be, that is what he's wanting to do. And I think that he also wants to travel with you. That's coming through again. That's very important to him. And I think, as we all know, he's a commitment type of man. He's a one-woman man. I think that, commitment could be in your nearish future with him as well. I know. I wonder if they're eating mac and cheese. Isn't that so crazy? I'm like, I'm getting like kid food. And mac and cheese is for adults too. I don't care what anyone says. But, you think of it as, and what the reason why is because it was specifically like the Kraft mac and cheese or like the Velveeta. It wasn't like homemade from scratch baked natural shredded cheese. I was getting like the box stuff. That was like the message. And typically you associate that with children because they don't really care. But that's so funny to me. I don't know. You'll have to ask him, I guess. But then he'd be like, wait, why are you asking me? Maybe you could be sneaky with it. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I'm picking up. I think that you're also going to be hearing a lot more dialogue, like when we do this, or in when Valentine's Day comes around, you and I should do this. Like, I feel you're going to be hearing a lot in the things that he says that shows his intentions to be in your life for a long time. When someone starts including you in future plans, you know that you're very important to them. So he may be doing that already. But if he hasn't been, you're going to start noticing this dialogue with him where he's going to say, something that's happening a month in advance and he's including you in those plans, or 3 months or 4 months. And you're going to start to get the impression that he's like has the intention of having you around for a long time. You can always bet that if someone's including you in their future plans, the further out that those plans are, the more serious that he is. And you'll probably start noticing that a bit more, the things that he's saying as well. I think that might be it. But yeah, those are just some like tangible, literal examples of what you might be experiencing with him in the near future. Oh, I'm actually getting to, he might be making introductions. Like, he might want another date or two under your belt, but I would say that you're going to start being introduced as well to people that are in his life. You kind of want to ask him tomorrow. You should. All right, let's get some messages for you, and then we'll be all set. Okay, good. I'm glad it makes sense. Mhm. So we have the Five of Wands. So this message is I want to face everything with you, the good, the bad, the hard, the challenges, because at the end of the day, I know we're stronger for it. So let's keep fighting for this, fighting for us. Let's keep working together. When everything else feels uncertain, you're the constant that keeps me going. I believe in what we're building here and what we can create together. And I do feel magic in our moments. I admire your strength. I want you to know that I'm here to support you in any way that I can. I know that we've only just started on this journey, but I am really excited to see what's to come. I feel like anything is possible when I'm with you. I believe some changes that are coming our way are leading us to something new and something better. I want us to evolve together, and I trust that whatever happens next is going to be great. That is what I have for you, SB. I hope you enjoyed your readings tonight. You're very welcome, friend. Okay, so next up we have Shayna J. Shayna J left her question with me. So, Shayna, if you're here, check in with me. Shayna J, if you are here, we are shuffling for your reading now. And if you're watching this later, I hope you enjoy it. All right, so Shayna, I feel like this is overall a really good reading, to be completely honest with you. Very, very, very fiery energy, like getting lots of like Leo, Sag, Aries vibes. The first three cards this reading was the King of Wands, the Six of Wands, and Strength, and that's all fire sign energy. We also have for I lost my train of thought here. His intentions, we have the Three of Cups, outside influences, the Chariot, and overall energy, Six of Cups. So first, we're going to talk about the impressions. What is he? How is he showing up? What is he telling or giving the connection? And that is the King of Wands. So I do feel like he is showing up with a lot of passion and confidence in this connection, a strong sense of leadership. Maybe he's the type of person that would like to lead or would like to make the plans. I don't really know how that aligns with you, or maybe that's his intention. It doesn't always mean that is how he's like displaying himself to you, but that is what he's wanting to show you. The King of Wands is someone who's very charismatic and determined and motivated, likely showing a bold, energetic, and confident side. And I think he is the one that wants to take initiative to move things forward. I feel like this is a very warm person, dynamic, maybe a little bit of a jokester. I'm not getting that as strongly with this card, but it could be there. And that he's seeing your connection, with a lot of potential, signaling that he, is ready to pursue this. So that's what I'm getting here. Now, I do know that he's a Capricorn, so when I say fiery energy, it doesn't mean I'm not tapping into his energy correctly. It just means that maybe that's how he's showing up for the connection. Also, could be like maybe he has a lot of fire in his chart, or maybe his rising or his moon sign are that way potentially. The Capricorn is very like understated sexual energy. So there could when I say passion and confidence, that kind of is Capricorn a little bit. So his thoughts for you are very positive. He views this as like having a lot of potential, a lot of success. Like he feels he recognizes you, and that he feels appreciation as well for you and by you. And I kind of want to jump over to the overall energy with the Six of Cups, because I'm saying this because this recognition almost feels like something very familiar. Like you're nostalgic to him or something. Like you bring comfort to him. Maybe he feels like this feels like a past connection. Like you're very familiar to him. That he feels like there's just this immediate sense of connection, like instant connection or unexpected connection, like you guys have known each other before, and that he feels a sense of comfort and safety and ability to be emotionally open with you. And that, I think he's enjoying the bond that you guys have. There could be potentially a sweetness to the energy rooted in genuine care and affection and playfulness as well, because like the Six of Cups talks about children. I think that he feels like your connection could be something that he could be proud of, something worth celebrating, something worth showing off. So he may be looking at you as a great catch as well. In terms of feelings, I do think that, well, what is he feeling? What is he feeling? Because we have the Strength card. What is he feeling? I think that you influence him like very easily or something like that. Like, you know how there are people that they can kind of control how the room feels. They can kind of influence and control how someone reacts to something. There can be certain people that are very triggering and instigative and pot stirrers, and then there can be people who are very like positive and calming and influential. And so either you're the person that's diffusing a situation or you're igniting the situation, and he views you as someone who is really good at diffusing situations, that you have good influence over him. Maybe you have a really great way of calming him down. There's just something here where he feels like strength through you, or maybe your connection feels very strong and there's like a lot of power, deeply rooted, that's grounded in a very authentic way. And there's some attraction here. His intentions, we have the Three of Cups. So this is what I will say. If you guys are not official, like you wouldn't say, oh, he's my boyfriend, I'm his girlfriend, and we're exclusive and we're not seeing anyone else. If you're not saying any of that, then this would apply to you. However, I think it's something that you would kind of know about. He may feel that you're the type of person that's wanting to play the field, or additionally, and or you feel that he is not fully committing to you. So the Three of Cups can indicate like a lot of celebration, a lot of feeling of close to you, laughter, joy, cheerfulness, that kind of thing. But it could also indicate that we're not bringing a level of seriousness to the connection. It's all fun and games. It's all like, let's have a good time, let's have fun, let's mess around. But there's not a levity that's brought to the connection because we're here for a good time. So when I say play the field, I just mean that there potentially could be feelings from you that he has a tendency to not show you commitment, or that he may feel that's what's happening with you, like you're not showing him commitment. So you'll have to take that if it resonates for you. Now, again, I'm not saying that is what's happening. I'm not saying he is dating other people. I'm just saying there could be a feeling that, you're looking for something to be anchored between you guys and make something official that's not quite official. Now, alternatively, if you guys are in an official committed relationship, this just indicates that his favorite part of your connection is the playfulness that you guys have together, like your ability to be close, enjoy one another's, like he feels like he never gets tired of you is kind of like an expression that I would hear. And again, that could still apply whether you guys are in a relationship or not. Hold on one second. Bodhi! No. My cat is like, sorry guys, that was supposed to be on mute. My cat is like trying to, I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he got a rubber band, so he's like clawing at my shoes right now. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry, Shayna. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I had to come back. I was like, my cat, like, he's just grabbed a rubber band because I have all of my decks wrapped up in a rubber band. And he always wants to play with those, like, in the most awkward places. And he was just, like, clawing at my shoes, and I couldn't have that. So, yeah. So, overall, that is what I'm picking up for you. Again, impressions, what he's showing, giving to the connection, King of Wands, his thoughts, Six of Wands, his feelings, strength, his intentions, Three of Cups. And then the overall energy is the Six of Cups. Now, lastly, when we're looking at influences or blocks, we do have the Chariot. And the Chariot is a card of direction, willpower, and triumph. So it's possible that your Capricorn is either facing external pressure to move things forward quickly, or he's in a situation where he has to navigate through some challenges or obstacles. It is a positive card, basically saying that your Capricorn has the willpower and determination to overcome whatever these feelings are, or issues or blocks or influences or whatever, that he is trying to move forward and stay very focused on you and focused on the connection without allowing any kind of outside influences or distractions to come in. So, Gina, that's what I've got, friend. Hopefully you enjoyed that reading. Let's go ahead and move on to Rocky. So, Rocky, this one is for you. Let me get shuffling really quickly here. Oh, Rocky, hey, thank you for checking in. We're about to shuffle for you right now. All right, do you want to know, how does JP feel about you currently? How does JP feel about Rocky currently? Would you say that JP can be defensive or guarded? Because I feel like there's a lot of good that when JP's looking at you, it's very positive, but there's almost like this layer of complexity where it's like, I need to think this through. So like thinking of you brings about like a mix of emotions, some that are positive that he likes reflecting on, some make him feel a bit locked up, some make him feel like he needs to figure out what's going to be best for him and you moving forward, and then also like maybe a little bit of defensiveness or like a bit of guardedness too. So it's like it almost feels like he can't look at you with just like one singular thought. It's almost like when he thinks of you, there's like a bunch of stuff that just like starts coming through. So for example, the 9 of Cups is very positive. It indicates that you provide emotional satisfaction and fulfillment for him. A lot of times people, like other readers, will say that you feel like a wish come true to him. You said at random times. Okay. And that there's a sense of contentment and gratification that the connection with you provides, and that he finds a lot of joy in your connection and feels that a lot of like boxes are checked for him when it comes to you. The 7 of Swords is here, the 7 of Wands are here. It can suggest that he's holding back, that he's leaving things unsaid and left unsaid, and that maybe that's like him guarding himself, or maybe trying to like not fully go there with you or really tell you what his intentions are going to be. And a lot of this could be hard for you because you're like, okay, are you keeping something from me, or are you just being weird? Like, is like what is actually happening here? I think that JP has a hard time fully committing to a plan, and he feels like he needs to strategize when it comes to you, because he's like, I need to work my way around my words. I need to make sure that I'm not saying too much or giving too much. You said you don't even talk much. He works a different bay from you. Okay, that makes sense. I feel like he's trying to protect himself in some way, and yeah, I don't know. It almost seems like he's kind of beating around the bush when it comes to you, is what it feels like. Like he's like, I need to be logical. I need to strategize. I need to think with my head over my heart when it comes to her. Um, I, I think that he has an issue with like control issues, like, some people say, oh, you have control issues. Like, I feel like he's the type of person who needs to make sure that everything's going exactly the way that he wants. Um, Let me think a little bit deeper about this. Hold on. You said you don't like it and it wastes your time. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can understand that frustration. It's almost like it's so weird. Like, it's making me feel like what he wants with you is like in secret. Like, I'm almost feeling as if he isn't quite ready to be out in the open with you yet or something. There's like a level of discretion, and I don't know if that has to do with your job. I'm on the money. Okay. He has the same issue. Roberto has the same issue. You don't want to repeat the same cycle. I just feel like whatever he's wanting with you, he wants it to remain like low key or private for now. Like he's very cautious about this connection, and I think that he's currently weighing his options, not entirely clear about like how he wants to move forward with you. I will say I'm getting a little bit of insight in terms of like his history. And I think he's like not with the drama. So potentially a working connection. Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah, literally that's what I was saying. I feel like the working connection is a could potentially pose a problem for him because he likes a no nonsense type of relationship. He's not with the drama. Again, yeah, you said the gossip moves fast, so he doesn't want the gossip. And so this is like helping me understand him a little bit more because he's like wanting logic and reason, and he wants things to evolve with you in the way that aligns with what he's needing. And I think that he potentially could have had a lot of like issues with drama in the past, and he's just like, I'm not with the bullshit. Like, I don't want that. And potentially could be thinking that this is a problem. This work relationship poses a issue for him or a block. Because he's not wanting talk. So that could be potentially what is holding him back. But I definitely feel like he has control issues. Not like he's controlling to the person he's in a relationship with, but he likes to keep things controlled. He likes, almost like he wishes that he had a publicist for his relationships. He wants to control the narrative. He wants to make sure that however people see his connection with you on the outside is how it's all about optics. Like, he wants to make sure that if someone knows something about your connection, it's because he's told them something. He does not want people to be making assumptions about him or you. He does not want people gossiping. He basically wants to control what people say and what people don't say. And I think that's essentially a challenge for him. Again, this is like his own issue. That's not your issue. That's his own issue, but so I think that he kind of butts his own head with, like, he's got two minds. Like, he's got the one side, she could fulfill a huge desire for me. And then on the other side, it's like, but I want to avoid problems. I don't want people getting involved in my life. He seems like a very private person. So, and he's basically saying, like, I'm a very private person. So, like, when I'm in a relationship with someone, I want to keep it that way. And if I try to get myself involved with someone that I work with, then I'm just asking for trouble, is like basically his mindset. So it's difficult. I don't really know. Like I said, he doesn't seem entirely clear about how he wants to move forward with this connection. But I feel like at least this gives us a little bit of insight as to like what's going on in his mind here. Because he's, again, the no nonsense thing is coming through pretty strongly. He's like, I don't want any issues. Like, I don't want people talking about me, or the person that I'm with. He is controlled. He likes to, he's very much that way. Like, I would bet that if you were to get to know him better, like on a deeper level, like he likes things just so. Like, he probably is very ritualistic. So, like, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. My husband's the same way. Like, he comes home from work and it's like his keys go in the same exact spot. His shoes go in the same exact spot. Like, he has this routine that he does every single time he comes home for work. He very rarely ever, like, you know, I know in the morning when he wakes up, he's going to take recycling out or take the trash out. Like, I know his program. Like, I know his schedule. But for me, in a very, like, when I grew up in a very unregulated, unpredictable, like, childhood, in a very unpredictable environment as a kid, that regulates my nervous system. Like, knowing how he operates. He's unpredictability. He's my husband's unpredictable personality wise. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. But in terms of like his day-to-day operations, he's very much the same. And that predictability eases my nervous system because I always know what to expect with him in that way. So it's not, I'm not saying it in a bad way, because I like this quality of my husband. I like knowing that where he's going to be is where he says he's going to be. Like, the things he's going to do is the things that he always does. I never have to worry about him switching up on me. But he's funny, you know, like, he says off the wall shit. He makes me laugh every single day. Like, he's kind of crazy with the outfits that he wears. He's a Leo, so he likes to stand out. But, you know, it works for us. So when I say that your person is controlled, I'm not saying that he is a controlling person. I'm just saying that he's private. Like, he only wants to know people to know what he shares, and he doesn't want his personal business out there. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, Rocky, hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight into what's going on, or at least confirms some things for you. And I hope that you enjoyed your reading with me tonight. It was fun being back. It's been a while. You said you're a free bird and spontaneous. So am I, Rocky. I'm the same way. Like, every day is different for me. Every day is different. I'm like the moon. I go through my phases every day. I'm an intuitive being. I eat intuitively. I, like, if I go, is my body wanting a tomato? No, I put it back. Like, if I'm in flow, then I work. And if I'm not in flow, then I don't work. If I would rather clean for the day first, take a nap, and then work later, then that's what I do. Sometimes I want to work first. Like, it just really all depends on how I'm feeling. So, like, I completely understand what you mean by just, like, needing that flexibility of, how am I feeling today? What do I have to do, and how much can I accomplish, and what's my energy level, and, like, just tapping into that. But that's normal for us, I feel, as women. But you're very welcome. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys hopefully later this week. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. We'll see. Bye, everyone. Bye, Rocky.